How's it going, everyone? It is Drago. We're back with another chapter of Fairy Tale 100 Year Quest, chapter 159, Fire Illusion Reveals. The cover page for this chapter has Flare holding a little Lucy plush, which you know she's thinking some creepy things when she's having it, almost kind of reminding me of like the Mr. Kersey doll that we had in Tenro. I'd love to know where Flare currently is. Is she like in her house? Is this just a shop that she's at? Maybe it's like the Fairy Tale Guild's gift shop, because they did sell Lucy figures literally at the guild. Overall, I think it's a really cute cover. I actually would really like to own the little plush that Flare has of Lucy. I think it's really cute. We pick up the chapter with Erza encountering Wed, which she just asks like, hey, can I help you with anything? And Wed wastes literally zero time whatsoever, and he pulls out his blade and lights it on fire, which really cool blade, and I freaking actually really like his design now with the, knight armor and just the flaming sword. And Erza's like, what the heck are you doing, dude? We're in the middle of the town, and like there's people around. Like, have you lost your mind? So Wed goes to attack Erza, and she's like, okay, you want to do this? You're going to draw your blade on me. You better be prepared to be cut down. And she re-equips into her just regular armor. And Erza blocks his attack. And you get a good scale of things, because Wed is pretty big compared to Erza. Especially his blade is so much bigger than her sword. Which his flame blade starts to crack Erza's sword, eventually breaking it, which I'm sure it probably has some weird properties behind it, because most things don't really cut through Erza's swords that easily. So Erza backs away, and she re-equips into the Flame Empress armor, which we have not seen this armor in a very, very long time, and I think it's very cool to see it, and it makes sense since we're going to be fighting a bunch of people that use fire abilities now. They're pretty much swapping blows left and right, and it kind of seems like they're somewhat evenly matched here. So Wed does a very big fire attack towards Erza, which I didn't even notice this the first time I read through this chapter, but she's standing in front of a boat, and the boat literally catches on fire, and Erza looks like embarrassed by it, but it's like, it wasn't her attack that did this. I'm sure those people on the boat are like freaking out, but it's not really her fault. So she's like, hey, Wed, why you here? Why are you attacking me? What's this all about? So the whole reason why he's here and specifically targeting Erza is because, he's heard rumors about her, with her being the number one swordswoman, and he's a number one swordsman. So, he just thought it right to, challenge one another and see who's truly the best swordsman, which this doesn't interest Erza in the slightest. She's like, hey, I'm not interested in your offer to figure out who's the strongest. The only reason why I wield my blade is because I want to protect my friends, and I don't have any other reasons for it. Surprisingly enough, Wed is pretty understanding of this, with him being like, hey, cool, you took that stance, but, I just want to, fight you, and you can't escape that. I really do like this panel with Erza, with her saying, I have no intention of running or letting you escape, and I don't really have any interest in seeing who's stronger, but once you pick a fight with me, I'm gonna, end you. Yeah, I really like the panel of her saying this. It's kind of a cool, intimidating Erza, and we'll see how this goes. So we go back to the bar with Lucy, Gray, Wendy, and Happy and Carla, and they're still trying to figure out where Ignea's castle is, which is when Wendy smells some kind of fire, which causes her to leave the bar. And when she leaves the bar, she's in a forest all of a sudden. Obviously, I've read Heroes, and I'm not very familiar with Rave too much. I haven't read it fully. But is this a location in Rave? Because I kind of vaguely feel like this is this cafe that she's in front of in this forest. Turns out there's actually someone behind Wendy, and I don't know this character's name. I know it's from like Rave. It's one of the kind of background people that is in maybe some of the episodes of Fairy Tale, because I know like early set of episodes had like little Rave master characters like that hidden in the corners of the frames. Which is where we go over to Lucy as she's following Wendy, and it turns out she's floating in the middle of the sky, and she gets yet another Rave Master character coming after her, this talking Jello, which I don't know its name. Sorry, I haven't gone through Rave Master really. Which is where you cut over to Raj, and he's, laughing like crazy because it's like, haha, they're in my illusions, which kind of shocked that Wendy fell for it pretty easily with smoke. I mean, unless Raj knew Natsu got fooled by it because he couldn't smell smoke, so now he added smoke to the illusion to make it more real. But these two fell for it pretty easily, including what's about to happen. I will say the images of these illusions are a little silly, with the flower looking like he's about to do some less than legal things to Wendy, and Lucy just looking like she's falling in the middle of the sky while getting chased by a jellyfish. Probably the biggest line of this whole chapter was Raj talking about how he got the inspirations for these illusions, with them being characters from some of his favorite manga series, which is where we cut over to Gray, and he's in a freezing environment with someone coming up behind him, and that person is Hein from Dead Rock, which is a crossover I would have never thought we were going to be getting. And to be honest, this is maybe Mashima wanting to do Heroes too. And with that is the end of our chapter, so my thoughts. Obviously, the biggest thing is that apparently Rave Master and Dead Rock are a manga series within Fairy Tail, which is kind of interesting when you think about it, because Fairy Tail and Eden Zero have had multiple crossover episodes and literally a crossover manga in and of itself, in multiple characters crossing over between series like the Blood Jiggle Gang and Plu. Super interesting though that they put Hein in, because he is a relatively new addition to the Mashima lineup, because Dead Rock is a relatively new series, literally only having 10 chapters, and Hein is literally in the story now, and he is a ice user in Dead Rock, so we got an ice user against another ice user, which, to be honest, with his showcase in Dead Rock, I'm not going to spoil anything from Dead Rock, but his powers compared to Gray is easily going to stomp Hein, even an illusion version of him. And to be honest, again, with how Natsu so easily dispelled his illusion, I don't see these being any problem to be taken down, unless if he's doing something completely different than what he did with Natsu. And to be honest, Wendy and Lucy don't really seem like they're in that much danger compared to Gray fighting a literal other ice user with a cool blade. And even still, you would think that whatever ice attacks Hein does, Gray theoretically shouldn't be affected by any of them, because again, he should theoretically be able to eat all the ice that gets thrown his way, unless if it's fire in some way, because this isn't a fire illusion. As for Erza fighting Wed, I don't really see a reason why Erza isn't going to win this fight. She seems to win every fight that she's in. And nothing that Wed has been doing so far is too wild, except for him having a blade that just cracks hers pretty immediately. Obviously, I think he's got way more up his sleeve than just he has a fire blade and, what's under his armor and whatnot. So what are your guys' thoughts about this chapter? Leave in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and this is Draco, signing out.